Hello everybody, it's Anne from Anne's Stampin' Up. Welcome to another Stampin' Day in Simcoe, Ontario. If you live in Canada and you don't have your own Stampin' Up demonstrator, you can shop with me. My demonstrator website is stampsandtea.stampinup.net, or you can reach me at stampsandtea@gmail.com. So welcome everybody. Today we're going to use a couple of things from the annual catalogue, and I'll show you what they are right now. So of course the annual catalogue is the large catalogue, the big catalogue. We're going to use a couple of products from this catalogue today. We're going to use the Charming Sentiments stamp set, which is on page 18, and it's all beautiful sentiments. You get lots of them, and it has coordinating dies for cutting out like right around the sentiment, so it's really nice. The other thing we're going to use is the Fresh as a Daisy DSP, which is part of the Cheerful Daisies suite of products. There's stamps, there's dies, there's embellishments, and there's this DSP, and that's what we're going to use today. The DSP is what do you get, 12 sheets of DSP for $17, and the stamp set is $32, but if you buy the stamps and dies you get them both. Let me see, the dies are separate. There's no bundle for this, but you can buy stamps and dies, so it's a good deal again. In the Daisy stamp set, there's this lovely sheet of paper. Let me see if I can move it up so you can see everything. Okay, but they're all different sizes, so how do you know how to cut this sheet of paper? These pieces, let me see, this one, these larger pieces would all make a great card front. So do you carefully cut them out, or what do you do? I'm going to show you how to cut them out today. Let me think, let me look at this. The trick is to look for the straight line on the paper. Well, this line here does not go straight through. These lines don't go all the way through, but this line does, under the pink flowers and the yellow stripes and the pretty peacock with the gold, or the wild wheat. That line there goes straight through. That's the first line you cut. So I'm going to show you how to cut this paper today. Now, it's 12-inch paper. It's 12 by 12. So we're going to cut at 4 inches because you got 3 sections, 4 inches. Alright, so we're going to put this paper in here. Now 4 inches, so I'm going to have to turn it around this way and put this paper on my 4-inch mark, this edge of my paper right on my 4-inch mark on my trimmer there. Now that should put this straight line here going all the way up, it should put it right about the middle of my paper trimmer, like along the channel of my paper trimmer. Now if you don't get it cut exactly straight, it's okay, you can always trim it a little bit, but this is a good starting point. So we're going to be very brave. We're going to make sure it's straight in there. I'm going to look in the channel if we can see where the crease, where the line is, and we're just going to cut it. We've done it, no going back now. It was a pretty good cut. It was off just a little bit there, but that's okay, we're going to trim it. So this is where we go back to the sheet of paper. We've got the whole sheet now. Alright, so then put that to one side. We need to look where the next straight line is. Well, this one here does not go all the way through, but this one does. So we're going to turn this paper, line it up at 4 inches again, or we're going to look and see where the line is. Now the line here is not at 4 inches, it's only 3 3/4 or thereabouts. So before you put your guide down, look where your paper is lined up in your cutter. Looks close enough. It's about 3 3/4 inches. And I'm going to slice it off there. It was pretty close. We can trim this when we're making a card. So then we're going to look at this. Where's the next straight line? This doesn't come through, neither does that. We're turning it this way, and that one does. So let's have a look. That's going to be right on about the 4-inch mark again, right there, and we're going to cut that. So we've got these pieces now. That was a really good cut, that one. It was right on the line. So now we've got these pieces. Now this here, that's not going to make a good card because we want to cut this off. We want to trim this. So let's have a look. We'll put the paper back in here, line it up on the score line. I'm looking at my sorry, not line it up on the score line, line it up on the crease, the channel in on your cutter, right there where you can see I'm running my finger down. Okay. Make sure it's nice and straight. That was a pretty good cut. So now we've got these two pieces. That's going to be a card front, this piece here. This one we can use for maybe a background for a sentiment, we don't know. But we're going to cut up this whole sheet of paper while we're going. Okay, so again we're going to line this piece up with the printed edge, this little cut line. I'm going to line that up in the track on the cutter. Hope we've got it straight. Yep. So there's another card front and another small piece. I'm going to do the same with this piece. Put it right in the cutter. Line it up. Look where my cut line is on my channel. Put this down. Another small piece. That's kind of a nice piece there and there. And then we've got this piece here. I'm going to do the same again. Put it in the channel. Now we've got a nice peacock, pretty peacock piece with wild wheat on there. And we've got this piece. This piece we're actually going to use to make a card with today. These two pieces, we're going to slice it down here am I going to slice that to take it off or what? I'm going to put this to one side for just a minute. We might make that card last because I haven't decided exactly what to do with that card yet, but we'll get to it. So there we've cut up that whole sheet of paper. It started off like this. Let me get it that way. It started off like this. We cut it along this line first, that line, and then we trimmed off the little pieces. Very simple, but sometimes it's a little scary because you think, what am I going to do with that sheet of paper? It's a beautiful sheet of paper. How am I going to cut that nicely? That's exactly how you do it. So let's get to making a card. Now, as I said, we've got the Charming Sentiments stamp set and corresponding dies. I think, I'm not sure, I'm not 100% sure, but I think every one of these sentiments has a die that cuts it out on one page. You then look at the second page of dies and you think, well, wow, what are these? Where did they come from? They're out of the same package. They're just little extras. You've got some butterflies, some candles, almost like fireworks there, or a flower stem, you know, so that you could put a flower on the top. You got some stars, hearts, little squiggles. I don't know what, I can't figure out this squiggle here. I'll have to stamp it and see what I get. You've got other sentiments, so you've got all of these sentiments plus the ones I'm going to use today. So let's get to making the card. Oops, that's stuck. Okay, let's get to making a card or two. Okay, let's take this piece here, this one here. Now I've already cut my basic cards out. All my basic cards are 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Now whether they stand this way, like, because this paper would need to stand up, it wouldn't look really right if it was lying on the side, I don't think, but it would look great if it was this way. Now you can see that I've got more room, more card space on the sides than I have on the top. So I'm going to trim this. And I'm going to take it down to a standard card size, mat size, which would either be 5 1/4 by 4, or it would be 5 by 3 3/4. So we need to see what we've got. And what we have here is about 3 3/4. Okay. Now I've got a little edge there where my cut was not really straight, so I'm going to trim just honestly half the width of my channel off this card. All right, and then we'll see what we've got for top and bottom. There, I trimmed just that little edge, that little sliver off. Okay, so let's put it on the front of the card. These are going to be very simple cards, very quick cards, using minimal supplies, and really just a quick card if you need a quick card. All right, so this width was 3 3/4, so I need, for it to look nice, I need the length of it this way to be 5 inches. Now if I cut, let's have a look, we've got 5 1/4 there, so I want this to be 5 inches. Okay, I can cut a little sliver off the bottom and a little sliver off the top if I want to, so I'm just gonna line that up. And if I cut a little bit off the top and a little bit off the bottom, I'm still keeping the bulk of my flower piece, so I'm going to line it up at 5 this way and trim that. So now you can see I've got a standard size card front, and I've still got all the top of the card and all the bottom of the card. All right, and it's just going to go on the front of the card just like that. These are going to be simple 1-layer cards. I don't know if that's quite true, 1 layer. I don't know if when you stamp directly on the card, is that a 1-layer card? I'm calling these 1 layer because I'm putting 1 layer on them. Now if you wanted to, you could mat this piece on something else. We are not going to do that. We're just going to keep them simple. We're going to put this face, there is right down on this piece of card. Excuse me. And we're going to stamp a sentiment. So we've got this cut out. We're going to tuck this inside. We've got a piece of basic white, which is 5 1/4 by 4 for the mat on the inside, but we may stamp on that. And then we've got some sentiments. Now this one I think we'll use, what does it say? Wishing you the happiest of birthdays. Or we've got a thank you that we could use, or we have what's the other one I picked out? Let me see. Oh, congratulations. So let's go with the congratulations on here, and it could just go right across the bottom, right there. So we're going to stamp that in Wild Wheat, which is one of the colours in the stamp set itself, in the paper itself. The other colour, the card I'm going to back it onto is Lemon Lolly, and I thought that would brighten this up, because Wild Wheat to me is kind of, sometimes it looks a little grungy, sometimes it's a little dark. So I'm going to put it on Lemon Lolly, and it will brighten it up a little bit. And then I've got the die to cut it out. So let me find congratulations, and here it is. And I've got some, what am I going to put that on? On there? Well, let's try it on a piece of Lemon Lolly, and we'll also pull out a scrap. I've got a scrap, there's a scrap of basic white, and we'll see which one we like the best. Where's my mat? Here it is. Okay, so we've got that and that. Congratulations. Well, that looks nice. Let's see how it looks on white. Which one do we like the best? I think I'm just going to leave it on the white. We're keeping these simple. We'll keep that for another day. So what I'm going to do, because I'm going to try and cut these all out at the same time, we're going to stamp the inside so that we're doing all the stamping at the same time. But what I'm going to do is, I know I'm going to have to tape these dies over my stamping, so I'm going to put this down, one of my clear plates. I'm going to put this on the clear plate and line it up, and I'm going to tape it down using what is this, Post-it sticky tape. Put that there and that there, and that should stop this from moving. We'll bring that back in just a minute because we're just putting everything down. So we have congratulations, and what else? Congratulations. Dum, da, da, dum. What did it say? Wishing you everything wonderful, I think is what I decided. Congratulations, wishing you everything wonderful. Let's have a look. Beyond grateful and thank you. They went together. Wishing you the happiest of birthdays because you deserve it. Right, they go together. Alright, we're back to being organised. We're going to stamp this in the centre of the white insert. Wishing you everything wonderful. There. And I'm stamping this in wild wheat because, as I say, that's one of the colours on the front of the card, but I think if I stamped it in lemon lolly it would be too pale. Alright, so we're going to tuck that inside of there and that in there. We'll put the envelope to one side. Let's pick the next one we're going to work on. How about this one? This one is lovely. It's got boho blue in it, and what's the other colour? I'm thinking might be copper clay. Okay, now again we're going to measure this up and trim it if we need to. We've got 4 inches here. Okay, we just took a slight sliver off there. I'm going to take just a hair more. It's going to be just less than 4 inches, just because I want it to be nice and straight and even. There it goes. Alright, and for this card we've got some boho blue, which is another beautiful colour, and that's picking up the flowers out of the card. And for this one we're going to see, what are we going to say for this one? Wishing you the happiest of birthdays because you totally deserve it. And we're going to stamp in boho blue. Happiest of birthdays because you totally deserve it. And again, that nice piece of card that we cut, that nice piece of DSP that we cut, it's going to make a card front. Now I almost did this wrong. I'm going to have to turn this way because this is going to be a landscape card. Same card base, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, but it's going to be landscape instead of portrait because you totally deserve it. And we need a piece of white for the front where we can stamp wishing you the happiest of birthdays. Well, I think that's the way it stamps. It's heavier on the bottom than it is on the top, but we'll go with it for now. And we're going to just slice this right across the bottom, and then we'll tape this to the board as well. Wishing you, it's going to go this way. So let me bring my number 3 plate in again. Line this up on here. And you see, you can line it up because you've got little dips in your stamp and your die there and there, so you know that, you know, you're lining it up with the spaces in the sentiment. Just get that straight. Birthdays. Tape that down. This post-it tape is really, really good stuff. It really is. And you can use it again and again. You don't have to throw it away once you're finished. So we'll put this in this. We'll tuck these inside this card. And we're going to go for the third one now. The third one is, what colour? What is that going to be called? What is it? What is it? Crushed curry. Crushed curry. And we're going to use this piece. Now, all of these cards, as I say, are simple cards. But this one, it's not going to fit really well. So we're going to turn this one this way, like we did the last one. And I'm going to leave this little bit of stripe on the side. Alright? Just because it's something different. So I need to cut this down to 5 1/4 by 4. Let's have a look and make sure what we've got here. What do we have here? We have just on 4 inches, so we need to cut 5 1/4 by 4. Now let's look at 5 1/4. We don't get too much of the stripe there, but we could, if we take a piece off this edge, that's going to make this edge uneven. So I'm just going to go with 5 1/4 inches. And that's just going to be a little piece on the end of the card. There. That down. And what are we going to stamp for this? We've got thank you and beyond grateful. Now I think I'm going to put the beyond grateful on the front of the card right here and the thank you on the inside. So we need to stamp beyond grateful on here, and we're going to stamp it in garden green and see how that looks, because garden green is the color of the leaves. But just because it's the color of the leaves doesn't mean that's the actual color we have to use. If we don't like it, we'll find a different green. Beyond grateful. We're going to stamp it again because I just wasn't right on. I think I'll stamp it right there in the middle. That's nice. Beyond grateful. We'll cut that off, and that's for, let me think, that's for the front, so we need the inside of the card. That's this one, and we're going to say thank you on the inside there. Right, so there's all the stamping done, I think. Let's get this one and tape it to the plate as well. Beyond grateful. Yep, that's going to line up that way nicely. I've got all of these on my number 3 plate, one of my number 3 plates. I've got my number 1 plate, my number 2, which is my shim, and then this is going down, and I'm going to stagger these plates. Then my second number 3 plate goes on the top, and I'm just going to turn away and run this through the big shot. Let's have a look. Whoops. There. There's my congratulations. So that cut out nice. Wishing you the happiest of birthdays. And we can put these cards together now. Okay. Let's see what we've got. We need some adhesive. We'll do this one first. So this one's going this way. This is going on the front like this. There. This is going this way on the card. Let's have a look and see. We're turning it face down to see how much of a border we have all the way around. We've got 1/8 of an inch on this one. Right. So that's there. My thank you goes on the inside. 1/8 of an inch. And then we've got Beyond Grateful to go on the front. We could pop this up on dimensionals if we want to, but because we're keeping it simple, we're just going to put this down flat on the card. These are cards where you don't have to have anything special to make them. When you can add gems if you want to, but I'm just showing you these cards using minimum supplies. There is your first card. Okay. Let's look at the next one. This is the Boho Blue. We've got wishing you the happiest of birthdays because you totally deserve it is going on the inside. There. This is going on the card front. You know what? We're going to stamp that again. Get a new piece of card. So I'm just gonna pop that down like that. Oh, this is just not a good stamp for me. Let me see. Really is not. What else do we have that we could use? We could put congratulations on the front of this card. That's better. I just need to work on that other stamp. It just maybe need to be cleaned up a little bit or roughed up a little bit. I'm not sure which. Let's cut this out quickly. We're going to line this up. We're going to make this a really small stamp. So sentiment. Yep, almost right to the edge there. Now let's go this way. My edge there. Yep, nice. And what can we do with that? You know what, we're going to make it into an arrow. There. Those pieces. We're going to put this on a piece of Boho Blue, just a little, glue it along the bottom. Making sure there's no glue showing. And I'm just going to line this up as close as I can to the bottom. Don't need too much around there. Let's see if I can slice it up using this. I don't know if I can. Yep. And then we'll just trim the edges again. I think that will stand out a bit better on the card. Where's the card? There. There. So you've got congratulations because you totally deserve it. That's the second card. The last one. What do we got for the last one? This one's going to sit this way. So we had to stamp that the other way. So let's... There. Stuck to my mat. I've got the picture for the front. Now this one was a little smaller, so we've got to make sure we get this right in the middle. We've got about a 1/4 inch all the way around. There, got it there. And there's a congratulations. So we're just going to pop this down on the front. There. So there we are. In about half an hour we've cut, stamped and assembled 3 cards. 1, 2 and another one, and 3. So there they are, 1, 2 and 3. These 3 cards, yes, I guess they're my own designs, so by all means copy and share if you want to. Have a great week everybody. See you next week. Bye.